Insurance. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator at the U of I Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties. Caitlin, it's good to see you. How you doing this morning?
Good. I'm always impressed when you get all of my counties in one shot. So you've been eating your Wheaties today.
I haven't had an extension person on in a few weeks now, so it was easy to just kind of refresh and reset the mind. So, and plus, I really am excited about what we're going to talk about today, because you and I were catching up before we got started. It feels like sometimes our conversations get on a cyclical, become a cyclical nature, where it's like this time of the year we talk about this, and this time of the year we talk about that, and nothing wrong with it. I'm just merely noticing. And of course, as we, I have to confess, Caitlin, I recently, I got a Blackstone for Christmas from my mom, and I just busted it out the other day. I've already cooked on it twice this week, so we're moving along, and I'm excited about this upcoming grilling season with the Blackstone plus the regular grill. So let's dive into barbecuing. Let's talk food safety, all of those things. Where do we start this conversation, though?
I don't even know. But I guess we can celebrate. So here we have May. May is a great month for, springtime is hopefully finally setting in. I'm really hoping this year we finally get spring settled. This weather has just been interesting. But May is National Barbecue Month, and so perfect time to talk about grilling and food safety. And I thought we could throw in some of the new technologies that are going on with grilling. So from a food safety perspective, we're always looking at well, I guess actually I'll start with just getting your equipment out of storage from winter. So you put it away last fall or late winter, and you're pulling it back out. So this is a good time to go through all of your parts and pieces. So clean off the dust, soap and water is great for that. And then checking out if you have racks in your grill, or like the Blackstone, making sure if you have any rust on the cast iron, you're taking care of that. And then cleaning those up. So this is a good time to buy some of the grill grate cleaners, or if you're someone that likes to maybe try there's basically cutting up half an onion is kind of a way to kind of scrub through some of the caked on grease and protein from last season. You do usually have to heat that up to kind of get the onion warm and loosen up some of that stuff, but that acidity in the onion can kind of help do that. Or you can go the classic elbow grease route and just use your arms and hands to scrub those. So make sure everything's clean. Check that if you've got propane, make sure that's full. If you need to go buy charcoal, obviously refill all of that. So get everything set up so you have a nice safe space. And then also think about your location from a safety perspective, right? Making sure your grill is away from any overhanging awnings on your home, and that you've got open space once you're grilling. So you've got that open airflow outside.
Sure.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I have a question, if it's okay. I have a grill grate that definitely needs, it just needs some sprucing up. What should I do with that? I mean, it is a cast iron grate. So it's got kind of some of that, like you talked about, that leftover stuff from the last grilling season. I didn't grill as much over the winter as I thought I might. So there is some of that from last year. Where do I start with that cleaning process? You mentioned like the cleaning stuff you can get at the store, or the onion. Forgive me, I'm probably asking a really dumb question, but what's that step-by-step I should be doing to make sure I get all of that out of there and can kind of refresh that piece there?
Yeah, so because depending on the size of your grate, so if you've got like a small one-person size grill, you can probably do this in even just your sink in your home, or even maybe a bathtub if you're open to getting a little dirty. But if you've got a larger grill, you've got larger grates, you might want to invest in even like a kid's little swimming pool, like something fairly large where you can get a lot of water, you can get soap, you can soak those grates in water, and so you can have that kind of space to scrub away, and you're not trying to fit it into a sink or hold it up at the same time. So looking at first, what space do you need to kind of do the cleaning? I really kind of like the kiddie pool idea because they're fairly inexpensive, and you can just grab them, and if they get gross through the cleaning process, it's easy to dump out maybe into your yard if you're comfortable with that. And then in terms of cleaning, soap and water is always a great start. I know cast iron, we really want to make sure that we're minimizing rust. And so If you do apply water to the cast iron, you really got to get it as dry as possible. So hopefully it can sit out in the sun to really dry out those and hopefully prevent some of that rust. Otherwise, it's going to be a mix of elbow grease. Again, you can buy some of the grease, the degreaser products that exist, which are going to be excellent for that. Or the onion is just kind of if you have, I would say, minimal caked on grease and other proteins from the previous season, that's a nice one to do, but you do have to have your grill heating up. So having the grill grates on your grill, heating it up. And so then the heat combined with some of the acidity in the cut onion, you can almost use that onion as a sponge or a scrub brush to kind of go back and forth across the grill grates to help remove and loosen some of that debris.
Okay.
Works for some things, may not work 100%. Obviously, the degreasers, the chemical cleaners, are going to be much stronger, much faster. So it really just depends on how much energy you want to give to the cleaning process.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough. Very good. Well, again, let's kind of dive into, once we have our grills cleaned and ready to roll, again, where does the conversation take us today, Caitlin?
Well, then it goes to food safety. So this is where we want to make sure that we are doing. I always come back to those 4 things about food safety. So clean, separate, cook, and chill. So cleaning is about making sure we're starting with a clean setup. So we've already talked about cleaning up the grill, but also that we're working with clean hands, clean, cutting boards. And then separating is making sure that we are keeping uncooked raw protein separate from other things that we might be grilling or working on with whatever meal we're cooking. So if we are using a plate to take pre-formed burgers out to the grill, we're then making sure we are bringing another clean plate so that once our burgers are done cooking, we transfer them to that clean plate rather than putting the cooked burgers back on that plate where they were originally raw. So we're preventing that cross-contamination. Same for, I always think about if you're walking from an indoor kitchen to your grill outdoors, maybe you can have, your kids or, someone else in your family hold the door open for you. So you're not trying to have raw meat hands touching doorknobs or the grill, the lid to your grill, making sure we can, make sure we're not cross-contaminated or transferring things between things. So cleaning, separating, and then cooking is all about proper cooking temperature. So USDA has all the resources for final cooking temperatures for beef, pork, fish, chicken, turkey, all the things that you might be cooking. So you can always have those. And then last is chilling. So any leftover foods that you've cooked on that grill, we want to put away in a cold storage. So typically a refrigerator. You can go straight to the freezer, but I'd say fridge first for within 2 hours. So that keeps food safety in terms of reducing bacterial counts from growing in that meat. So about 2 hours, move it into cold storage.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good. So now when we are talking about preparing food in our kitchen, maybe something's on the grill and it's got a little time out there. So we head to the kitchen and we begin preparing maybe some vegetables or whatever round of food is going on the grill next. Let's talk about safety once we get in the kitchen, Caitlin. How about highlighting what we need to know there?
So a lot of this is back to the same things. We could take all of those 4 same principles: clean, separate, cook, chill, back to the kitchen with us. So when, exactly as you said, you're coming back in the kitchen while the steaks are cooking, the burgers are cooking, and now you're going to work on, pasta salad or fruit salad or, another side dish. So same thing there. We're making sure that when we are in the kitchen, we're washing hands before we get started, especially if we have been touching raw meat. We are making sure that we're washing utensils. So for some reason, you really want to use the same plate that touched the raw meat as you're going to put a plate, like maybe some different toppings for your burgers. You're going to put out lettuce and onion. You're going to put that all in the plate. For some reason, you really want to use that same exact plate that touched the raw burgers. Just make sure that you're washing that plate first before you add in those uncooked vegetables. Again, the lettuce, the onion, tomato slices for your burger toppings. Same for, I always think we're getting into the summer season where we're doing more cookouts. We're getting, closer to, holidays, Memorial Day, summer break. And when we're outside, especially with family gatherings, if we don't have access to cold storage the way we might at our homes, making sure we're bringing coolers full of ice, and that if we are traveling long distances, like if we're going to go on the lake for the day, bring lots and lots of ice. Make sure that if you do have any leftovers, really try to time out when you're going to be leaving for the day and is it worth saving some of that food from a food safety perspective? It may not be. It may be something you just plan to try and eat, the whole package of hot dogs while you're there.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, Caitlin, let's finish up this part of the conversation with making sure foods are cooked all the way. Let's dive into that and making sure we know what we need to there. How about that?
So invest in a food thermometer. It can be a nice, simple $5 manual thermometer that you can grab. Or if you want to get super fancy, I'm really kind of enjoying seeing all the different technologies out there for thermometers that have probes with built-in wireless sensing, and so you'll insert that probe into your uncooked meat, you'll add it to your grill, your smoker, and you can essentially watch the temperature rise on your phone app. So you can walk around, continue doing other things through your day, and just watch that temperature change. That's really good for larger cuts of meat that are going to take maybe a while. Probably not worth doing for something like a burger that's going to cook pretty quick and you want to stick around to watch that cook. But something like a roast or ribs where you're going to be cooking for several hours, maybe slow cook it. These technologies are really fun. They're a good way to do it. They are currently pretty expensive right now, but if it's something that you find helpful to make sure that you are temping foods correctly, this is excellent. This is really where we want to make sure that our foods are cooked to temperature. Color is not a great indicator for food safety, and so that's where that thermometer comes in. So again, USDA has all of those temperatures. So chicken and their poultry goes to 165. Ground patties go to 155. So we've got all that information, and I'll direct everybody to check out USDA's temperature recommendations.
All right, very good. Good stuff there, Caitlin. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a break here, come back because we can talk about what's coming up in terms of the seasonal things. We've got a lot more to dive into there. In the meantime, where do folks go for all things food safety and preparing the food safety for the grilling season, I guess? Caitlin, how about that?
Yeah, so we are actually working on updating some of our websites. So our pages are not available currently. So I'll currently send everyone to check out food safety information at foodsafety.gov. Has a lot of great resources that are very consumer friendly, easy to find information on there. So foodsafety.gov has great resources for that.
Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator, U of I Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties, our guest on the Zoom. More to come with Caitlin on the morning show. WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn slightly higher, beans lower, and wheat starting the day steady. May corn up 4 1/4, 464 3/4. July corn up 2 1/4, 472 1/2. And new crop December 444 3/4, up 1/4. May beans starting the day 1028 3/4, down 12 1/4. July beans down 13, 1039 3/4, and new crop November 1014 3/4, down 10 1/2. May wheat opening 505 1/2, down 1/4. July wheat up 3 1/4, 528 3/4, and September wheat 543 up 2 1/2. July bean meal 296.70, down $1.50. July bean oil 48.61, down 72 cents. I'm Jim Taylor.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We're also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. Silverado, together let's drive. See all our inventory at bombchevybuick.com right from the start.
CEO Paul Scowen here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Come to our annual health fair Thursday, May 15th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on our hospital campus. Lots of free events and raffle prizes. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know. Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
It's WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest on the Zoom today, Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator, U of I Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties. And Caitlin, as we chat today, we are in the midst of strawberry season, which I don't know why. I didn't realize strawberries got in season so early, but here we are. Let's talk strawberry season. And boy, what can you not do with strawberries? They're so versatile, they're so fun, they're so good. How about that?
Yeah, so big piece of the cooperative extension system around the nation. You really push for people understanding the importance of local foods and being able to, whether it's growing their own food or using local farmers markets and community supported ag and all of these things to support their local farmers and their local growers. And so in Illinois, this time of year, like getting into like early May through about June, we're getting into strawberry season in the state. And so I really encourage folks, get out and find a local strawberry patch near you, whether it's in your backyard or you've got pick options near you. And so, as you're going out there, it's a fun activity for kids to learn about how strawberries grow. They don't just appear in the grocery store, so it's good learning opportunity as well. And because they are berries, they're super high water, so we're getting hydration through those. We're getting vitamin C in that. The red pigments, we get some of that beta carotene color in there, that lycopene. So some of those pigments are really important for different health outcomes in the body. And so it's really useful fruit to enjoy. And because they are so high water though, they are not good for long-term storage. So make sure you're eating on those within probably a week at the most, or you can always preserve them by making, you can make jam out of those. You could freeze them for longer storage to pop into smoothies later in the season, in the middle of winter when you just need that pop of a fresh berry, you got that in the freezer. We always get questions about how to wash produce. And so really water is great. As long as you have clean water coming out of your tap, rinse those under the water. Just like your hands, we recommend washing hands for 20 seconds. So same for washing other fruits and vegetables like strawberries, wash those under cool running water for 20 seconds. And then if you need to pat them dry, you can do that with a clean towel. And then in terms of recipes, I mean, that is the, as you said, what can't you do?
That's the
We've
jackpot
actually
right
got
there. Yeah.
I know, like we can just snack on them. So we can just have them as a side, side of fruit as a snack or as part of a meal. We can make them and added to different drinks and smoothies. We're working on updating some of our recipes on our website. And so we've got a strawberry kiwi smoothie that we're working on, or excuse me, lemonade that we're working on. Now, kiwi is not necessarily, something we find in Illinois, growing in Illinois, but during strawberry season, we get that best flavor out of those. So making drinks out of those smoothies, lemonades is a great option. Having them topped on salads. So think about something like poppy seed salad. So you can get strawberries on top of your salad, just sliced. Make a nice berry salad. Add some chicken or some nuts or some beans. Or even something built into baked goods. So strawberry bread is something kind of like banana bread is a quick bread. You can use a version that uses strawberries to get a slightly different flavor. So very, very versatile fruit, great source of nutrition. And because they are sweet, hopefully a lot of kids really enjoy those. We kind of have so many opportunities to just promote local ag as well as really enjoy the best quality right now coming into later spring and early summer, where just the peak quality is going to be just excellent. So if anyone has ever had strawberries out of season, you know that they're pretty firm. They're not super sweet. They're almost like crunchy. And so when you get them here in the early summer months and they're just peak flavor, I'm actually just kind of making myself hungry.
I was thinking I can't, whether it's winter or the summertime, I can't bring strawberries in my house and they're not gone before, we grocery shop on Saturday. I can't, they're gone by maybe Saturday night if they're not gone by Sunday. So they go fast in our house for sure. And I've heard that from a lot of my friends that they have kids and it's, kids just eat them up. So sounds like a good source of nutrition for kids as well. And, it's interesting you say that, Caitlin, because everywhere you go on the internet, you're going to find something that's you're going to find something unique, right? And one of the things that I've seen a little bit of is just like fruits and how much sugar they have is sometimes not good for you from a nutrition standpoint. Speak to that a little bit, and some of the, is that a myth? Is that true? How about some of that?
Yeah, poor sugar. Sugar gets blind. So sugar is a type of carbohydrate, and your body runs on carbohydrate. That's your body's preferred fuel source. And so, yeah, it is unfortunate that we are getting some of this messaging that, oh, bananas have too much sugar, other fruits have too much sugar. And really, now if that is your entire diet is just fruit, then I do want to talk about, some other missing nutrients that you're losing out on because you're not having other types of foods. But as long as people are enjoying fruits, they won't have too much sugar. We'd much rather have kids and adults, snacking on strawberries and other fruits compared to maybe having sweetened coffee drinks or sodas. Got way more added nutrition. There's fiber in those berries, and fiber is another type of carbohydrate. It slows down how quickly that sugar gets released into the body, so the body has a little more gentle introduction to that sugar that it's getting. So that's a really good benefit that we don't see in some of the things like sweetened coffee drinks or those sodas, those really other types of sweet things that are also high in sugar. So fruits, enjoy those. Now, if you get super sick on like a giant, package that you're eating of strawberries, yeah, that probably is kind of make your stomach hurt. But otherwise, enjoy the fruits. They're a great source of nutrition.
Sure, very good. Well, Caitlin, let's dive into some of the classes you have coming up here. I know May is, you've got a couple of things to highlight. What's coming up in May for you?
Right. So next week, we are going to do a Sourdough 101 class. So I know everyone went through COVID and has learned about sourdough. So we're going to continue that trend and kind of walk people through the basics of getting their starter started, and how to kind of work with the dough once their starter is healthy and ready to make bread into. And that'll be next week, May the 8th, in our Clinton office. Coming here on from, I believe, 10 to 11 in the morning. So we got a nice, easy introduction during the morning. And then later in the month, May 19th, we're going to be bringing the Heart Smart Eating class to Decatur at the Decatur Family Y. May the 19th, also early in the morning, 11 to noon. So you can come to class and then go have lunch. And we'll have more classes throughout the season. We're getting into canning season, so I'll just give a little preview that canning classes are going to be coming up here in June.
All right, very good. So, Caitlin, where do folks go for all things your courses, whether it's nutrition we've talked about today, grilling season, the like? Where do they find all of that?
Yeah, so come find us locally here in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt County. So our website is go.illinois.edu/DMP for DeWitt, Macon, Piatt. Or you can come visit us in person at our offices. All of our offices are open in Clinton, Monticello, and Decatur.
Easy enough. Caitlin, always good to talk to you. Thanks for making time for us.
Thanks, Seth.
Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator, University of Illinois Extension, our guest on the Zoom today. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton.
WHOW.